That is going to be an incredible fight card, March 18th. Obviously, we haven't had the announcement yet. I mean, if you know anything official from behind the scenes, I don't expect you to divulge it. But what do you know, John?
No, I know Bilal Muhammad was on Believe You Me recently, and if he was in line to be getting that title shot on March 18th, I feel like I would know something, right? He hosts a podcast with my twin brother. I consider Bilal to be family, right?
Yeah.
I do read into manager Ali Abdelaziz's tweet maybe more than I should when he says everybody needs to relax about the Kamaru Usman injuries. He's going to make the walk. He's going to fight Leon. So obviously, given the nature of that result, Leon Edwards against Kamaru Usman last August, they had to run this one back right away, right? Like when you look at Israel Adesanya and Alex Pineda, I think that'll be an immediate rematch too, but I don't think they need to absolutely unequivocally strike right now. Whereas with Leon Edwards and Kamaru Usman, I think you got to do that fight right now. So I remain cautiously optimistic that that is going to be the fight March 18th, but I don't have to tell you, we're about 9-10 weeks out right now. So.
And that is the only thing that gives me a kind of a seed of doubt. I mean, Ali's coming out. He's putting all those flames he's putting those flames out. But we're not too far away, and it hasn't been announced. I mean, the event has, but the main event hasn't. And Kamaru, I haven't seen it, but he's walking around with kind of a brace over his hand, looking like he had surgery. And Kamaru being the pound-for-pound number one, formerly, being the long-time champion, people were talking about him taking George St. Pierre's throne as the greatest welterweight of all time, potentially to go one day, rushing back into that after getting knocked out with potentially a sore hand. That wouldn't sound like a smart move. And by the way, I'm not trying to shit on that fight because I hope it happens so big, but I don't know. I think all of us having a seed of doubt or a shred of doubt or whatever the goddamn expression that the stupid brain can't think of is, I think is warranted.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I know Ali wants people like me to stop with the rumor and the conjecture, right? But we have heard that Kamaru Usman, in terms of his knees, maybe aren't optimally healthy. So I don't know. We got to see how it plays out. But I certainly don't have to tell you. It takes a very special circumstance and fighter for us to do a pay-per-view in the United Kingdom. And seemingly we have that right now. Obviously, we had it with you and Dan Henderson. That was the last time we did a pay-per-view over there. I wasn't even the number one guy. So needless to say, man, I'm hoping that it all aligns for March 18th. I find it hard to believe that you do Leon Edwards and, Bilal Muhammad or even Jorge Masvidal as the main event March 18th, but I guess we'll find out.
Who was the play-by-play guy for that one? I know Brian Goldberg. Was he really?
Yep. It was held last year, I believe.
Yeah, I was going to say it must have been one of his last ones. Oh, well. Never mind. Well, fingers crossed that happens. The thing is for Leon, I was thinking about this the other day. I think they're the top 5 in that division. For the most part, I think they're all very, very strong grapplers. So he kind of stands out as the only striker. You've got Burns, Hamza, Kamaru, Bilal, Luke A. He's kind of a striker. He's a bit more well-rounded. So yeah, it's a tough road ahead. Even if it's not Kamaru, there's some very, very strong contenders there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Colby Covington is going to all of a sudden reemerge and find himself in a championship setting. I don't think it's going to be Khamzat Chimaev and Leon Edwards, because I think that not only would Khamzat be probably about a 4 or 5 to 1 favorite, but I do think the promotion is going to strategically try to preserve the immediate rematch between Kamaru Usman and Leon Edwards. And certainly, as Chael Sonnen and others have articulated, if you're Leon Edwards, maybe try to find the guy that you think you can beat among the names that are presented. And again, I don't think it's going to be Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, but do I think that's a more winnable fight for Leon Edwards than some of the grapplers out there? I do. So
yeah, for sure.
We'll see what happens.
And I'll be honest, Wonderboy versus Leon, take my money, by the way.
Oh, yes.
Could you imagine that fight? That would be sensational. But still, we shall wait and see. Did you hear the news, John, that the GOAT, the Gloat, the Eagle, the undefeated? I'm not talking about you, Mr. I'm late to bloody everything, Anthony Smith. All right, we'll get to that in a minute, John. Anthony, what's going on, brother? How are you, man?
I'm a partial dead body, man. These people, these killers in Denver are just, I'm like fresh meat, man. I don't know what happened. I was such a nice guy to all those youngsters, and now they're kicking my ass.
Oh, shit. So who you training with? Anyone we know?
Yeah, I've been with Dustin Jacoby and Cody Brundage a bunch lately. Those guys are on fire, man. They're ready. They're just itching for short notice opportunities, so they're ready to go.
Hey, John, I was saying, and I say it every show, I mean, what a guy. And I'm not blowing smoke up your ass, Anthony. To be in there, obviously, as you say, you get in your ass kicked. We all know how hard it is to prepare for a fight. And there's other people that have done this before as well, but still, it's the first time I've known somebody personally, to be going through those rigors, the mental and the physical toughness of a training camp when you might not even have the fight. That speaks a lot about your character, Anthony.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit unfair for me, maybe compared to other people, because I'm still fighting in March if the title fight goes ahead like I suspect that it probably will. So we're still targeting that March 11th date. I think there's just a couple other things that got to fall into place. Obviously we got our eyes super close on that Johnny Walker, Paul Craig fight. And just kind of the way the division is shaking out. We'll see what happens in the title fight. One of those guys want to turn around quick. I might be the only guy left.
Well, just so you know, from the BT Sport, I had to just do it today. I had to predict all the champions this time next year. And in light heavyweight, I predicted Anthony Smith.
There we go.
No, but I thought I have to. Or I'm just going to get shit.
You have to. You have to.
Anyway, no offense. No offense, Anthony. We were supposed to do a 30-minute segment at the start, and then John comes in and we talk all about John. Okay, so I'm sorry. You missed that part. Jon Anik, back to you, sir. Khabib. Oh, sorry, should I say Habib? Yeah. Has just called it a day completely, not from only competing in the sport, but coaching for the most part. I believe in Dagestan, localized, he's still going to be involved, but he's done traveling the world. It kind of ties into what we were talking about a second ago. All the miles in the air, etc., staying in hotels. He's walked away from the sport. What is your comments on that, John?
Well, he took one look at that Perth itinerary and he said, you know what, I'm not going to Western Australia, right? I mean, I'm telling you, man, I get that Perth itinerary. It gives me fucking anxiety for months, right? Now, I think it remains to be seen as to whether or not Khabib Nurmagomedov would selectively corner one of his cousins or Islam Makhachev in a championship setting, right? He just cornered Bilal Muhammad for that win over Sean Brady, and Bilal was sort of expectant that now he was going to maybe have Khabib moving forward. So would he selectively corner a couple fighters here or there? I don't know. I still think he has value tremendously on fight night, but if you're not there for 8 or 10 weeks prior, how does that affect the corner dynamic? I mean, there are a lot of unknowns that I think Khabib will answer in the weeks to come. I think, Anthony, we probably get our first answer in Perth as to whether or not he's actually there for Islam's first title defense.
Yeah, that was going to be my question to you, because you see a lot of the stuff that even me as an analyst, I don't get to see. I don't get to see how they interact with each other during the fighter meetings and the meetings they have with the broadcasting crew. I don't get to see all that stuff. So my question was going to be, do you really think that he's going to not go to Perth? And because he has so many plans for Islam. He talked about how many title defenses he wanted him to have, and when he wanted him to retire. He almost seemingly had the rest of Islam's career kind of planned out for him. It seems very odd that he would step away, at least from that individual fighter. And like you said, maybe his, some family members, some cousins and stuff like that.
Halfway through a training camp.
Right.
Yeah.